The Angry Marks Podcast Network is brought to you by WrestleWork, a social network to connect, create, and share everything about pro wrestling. Check it out today at WrestleWork.com. You're listening to Emerson Whitner's NXT Report on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Emerson Whitner, and this is your NXT audio report for Tax Day, Wednesday, April 15th, 2015. Hope everyone in the U.S. got your income taxes out today, yesterday as you're listening to this now. And I'm here to tell you about a pretty good episode of NXT this week. The show was pretty good. Main event was a lot better than I thought it would be going in. Only one abomination of a match. And hey, if you can't enjoy an abomination of a match, then the one thing you should not do is listen to my podcast. Wrestling Outsiders Podcast, Wednesday nights, 10 p.m., blogtalkradio.com/Wrestling Outsiders. This month is Bad WCW Pay-Per-View month. That's right, we're forcing ourselves to watch some really bad wrestling this month. This week, we looked at the NWO sold-out pay-per-view with Hollywood Hogan versus The Giant and the Miss NWO Beauty Contest. Any show where Buff Bagwell versus Scotty Riggs is one of your three best matches, you know you're in for a good time. And you can listen to that along with all 55 of our prior episodes. Head up to blogtalkradio.com/Wrestling Outsiders now. Anyway, on to NXT. The show opened with what was basically a loser leaves town match. C.J. Parker, I think this is his last match taped. I don't know. I don't read the spoilers ahead. Stevie J may know, and he may be saying to himself, "Dang, Emerson, you an idiot." Because, Stevie J talks like that, apparently. But in this, what could be Parker's last match, he got submitted by Solomon Crowe, my brother's favorite wrestler of all time. Actually, Parker got a bit more offense than you'd expect, all things considered. Parker did come out of the match strong, got knocked down quickly by Crowe. Crowe had some unique offense, including a chop to the side of the face of Parker and a suicide dive where he dove through the bottom two ropes as opposed to the top and the middle. Parker got a lot of offense, and he actually looked better than he had in any point in the past 2 years, to be honest. He did hit a really nice spin kick at one point. The finish, Parker went for a senton, but Crowe got his knees up. Parker jumped a little too far over and actually landed on the bottom of Crowe's feet that were pointed up there. Crowe won with a diving headbutt to the leg and then the stretch muffler, which, in case you don't know, it used to be the Brock Lock. Solomon Crowe then cut a promo saying that the real show is just beginning. They had a really, I don't know what to call it, it was kind of a really funny commercial for WWE Supercard where Paul Heyman cut a promo encouraging the Brock Lesnar card to kick the butts of the real-life Uso brothers who were walking by at that moment. Maybe that's the real reason why Jay injured his shoulder. I don't know. Baron Corbin is back as a squashing machine. He destroyed Steve Cutler in 30 seconds here. He's one of these guys, Baron Corbin is, that they fall in and out of love with him all the time. And now this is in developmental, so I can only imagine how it's going to be when he gets to the main roster, because he's got good size. He looks good. In theory, he's passing all of his wellness tests, or we would have heard otherwise. But, he can't go more than 2 minutes, and we found that out with a few of his matches. Backstage, Rich, that's his name, interviewed Sami Zayn about his match with Rhyno. Zayn said that he will not let Rhyno use him to get to the title like Kevin Owens did. As a quick sidebar, I did buy the WrestleMania program this year, and it actually had Rich in it. However, I then sold my WrestleMania program to a friend of mine who wanted it for his friend, and so I never did find out what Rich, that's his name's last name really is. And I'd like to point out, I've been calling him Rich, that's his name, for about 2 months now, and nobody else here listening has told me any different. So no one knows what the heck the guy's last name is. And really, if it wasn't for Adrian Neville saying Rich a couple times, never would have known his first name was Rich. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy defeated Dawkins and Fulton, Angelo Dawkins, Sawyer Fulton. I missed Enzo and Colin's intro due to my network being a pain in the butt, but they did have some new material because when I tuned in, they were cutting a bit of a wacky promo talking about how they want the tag titles from Blake and Murphy, and the fans were really into it, so hooray for that. Dawkins and Fulton both wrestled in amateur-style singlets, complete with Fulton wearing the Rick Steiner amateur headgear. Personally, I would have loved to see Fulton just go off and doing the Rick Steiner dog bark while he was at it as well, but he didn't. Sawyer is actually almost as tall as Colin and is actually pretty thick, so I'd imagine he's going to get, a chance or a shot on the main roster sooner rather than later. Enzo got in a little bit of offense, which for an Enzo Amore match is a miracle because he never gets any offense in. Blake and Murphy at one point sauntered down to the ring and gave flowers to Carmella to apologize for knocking her off the apron a month ago during a match. The champs left the flowers with her and walked away, and Enzo and Colin seemed to never notice that even happened. Colin got the hot tag, looked good during his comeback. He had all his big moves, including the catatonic, and the babyfaces won when Colin threw Enzo off the top rope onto Dawkins with a big splash. Enzo and Colin were kind of mad about the flowers, but Carmella was cool with it, so I'm thinking when they do have their big tag title match, Carmella's probably going to turn heel on those two. The dumbest man in NXT was backstage, Alex Riley. He said that he's not going away, and he will be in the ring next week, demanding Kevin Owens will be there. And yeah, if you remember right, the last time those two wrestled, it went approximately 6 minutes, and Owens beat the crap out of Riley the entire time. Oh boy. Ed Laredo's favorite wrestler was up next, Old Blue Pants, and did she have her work cut out for her, taking on the 12th place finisher at the Arnold Bodybuilding Classic, Dana Brooke. At the Arnold Bodybuilding Classic, Dana finished 12th out of a possible 13 people. However, if you were to rank all the NXT divas by skill level, Dana would be 12th out of 12. She was horrible in this match. They tried to edit it. They tried to cut away and do a couple different camera tricks to stop from showing some of her more horrendous offense, but you could only edit out so much of it. She took Old Blue Pants down and went for punches from the mount, and I know professional wrestling, you're not actually supposed to hit each other, and I'm not encouraging her to hit Old Blue Pants. However, her punches were so far away from Blue Pants' head that it was embarrassingly bad to watch. Blue Pants did make her come back and got slapped right in the face, and she won. Dana Brooke won with the Michinoku driver. Please, WWE, make this woman train harder before putting her back on TV. Honestly, there's a chance she's worse than Eva Marie. I said it. Next week, Charlotte, Bayley, and Becky Lynch in a number one contenders match, and Alex Riley gets his butt whooped by Kevin Owens again. And then in the main event, really good main event, Sami Zayn pinned Rhyno. This was Sami's first TV match since NXT TakeOver Rival back on February 11, where when Kevin Owens beat him up and beat him down in the middle of losing the title. This was a pretty good match. Both of them, I think, are baby faces. I think Rhino's supposed to be babyface, but they worked it. Neither were really the heel. Rhyno, you could say, was getting the heat, but there was never an extended period of time where he was getting heat. Towards the end, Rhyno was hitting some pretty big, high-impact moves, and they were playing up that perhaps Zayn came back too early, and of course it kept frustrating Rhyno when Sami would kick out. Impressive spot was when Sami hit his Blue Thunder Bomb, which is kind of a twirly sit-out power bomb if you've never seen it. It looked really impressive. considering how thick Rhyno is and how not thick Sami Zayn is. Sami at one point slapped the Man Beast, and Rhyno then beat the snot out of the former champion. Rhyno went for the gore, and I'm sure you all know what's happening next. Sami sidestepped him, Rhyno gored the middle turnbuckle, and Zayn won with the haluva kick. So a very good main event to cap off a mostly good episode of NXT. And with that, we're done for the week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Next week, like I said, the three-way number one contenders match with the women. Alex Riley gets his butt kicked some more. And I'm sure some more fun wrestling, and hopefully there's no Dana Brooke. Until then, have a good night, and thank you for listening.